I'm getting Urban Dictionary finds, and it's talking about like tennis rackets and stuff. It says first you must find syrup. Second, you must find an unwilling participant. Remove the shirt of the individual you found. Then place a tennis racket across the belly. Take syrup and pour it on the racket while pressing the racket hand against the belly. Do not forge to chant awful waffle. It's humiliating and brings hours of entertainment to your camp experience. This is mentioned several times that it's at camp. I never went to camp.
I'm never sending a kid to camp now.
Stay out of my fridge. It's time to raid. We're bringing the last. No need to be afraid.
No, I was there. I was like, can you see me? I couldn't see this. Either way, the voice you're hearing, it's me. It's Matt. It's Beardlaw. Joining me as always, Brandon J. McDermott, the golden voice on the internet, and the one, the only, you've been whacking off. Fellas, it's been a week, and I feel like we're all just like, at least you didn't wake up with snow that actually stuck to the ground like we did.
How much did you get?
A couple inches, just enough to appease her.
That's right.
But you guys are still going to get snow for the next potential for it, right? For the next month?
Yeah, probably. I was looking at the forecast before. It was, I think, going to be in the 20s for most of the lows coming up for the next 10 days. Yep, 10 days, 35 low, 33 low, 33, 20, 20. Yeah, we're
in the spot now where it's still the highs are up and down in the 60s to 70s, but the lows are kind of topping out in the upper 40s, lower 50s.
Mm-hmm. And we might get the occasional storm. We're getting hail, we're getting high winds and everything else, but I would still take them high 60 days over snow in 20s any day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of days the highs in the 50s, so it's going to be wild because in New York with softball and baseball season, they have to be done as the kids are like getting ready to take their state test, which is usually like the first week of June or so. So that means, and then they sprinkled in a spring break, then they sprinkle in senior trips and then proms. So they essentially are going to have to play almost every day of the week to try to get in a softball season. And it just doesn't make sense why they do softball in the spring when they could flop it to a fall and get all the games in and not have to rush them. But what do I know?
Yeah. Well, now they're talking about Missouri's getting flag football as a sanctioned sport or whatever. So it's going to be for women. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I was like, I'd watch my daughter tear up some flag football in high school.
Knowing your daughter, she is going to sign up and play.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I even told her, I was like, hey, that flag football. She's like, oh, and I was like, listen, they're only introducing it into a few schools. I was like, by the time that maybe you're a senior, flag football, dude, I think that'd be fun to watch too. And, I sent Sarah with Anna Pickle Radio the menu for the neighboring town's ball association for their concession stand. And the prices are cheap. I think the most expensive thing on there was $6. Maybe. I might even have to look at that. Now I have it pretty handy here. So there it is. So the most expensive thing on here is actually $5. And that is for pulled pork nachos.
Damn, that's a good price.
You get a pulled pork sandwich for $4. A hot dog runs you $2. Cheeseburger, $3.50. It's not bad. But and you can even get bubble gum, 5 pieces for 25 cents. So children, grab your quarters, get you some bubble gum. Ring pops and blow pops. I mean, but she could not believe that the pulled pork nachos was still on the menu. And the fact that it's pretty consistent here. Like that's a staple. If we say, hey, you're not having hot dogs today, that's cool. I'll have a pulled pork sandwich because I know you're guaranteed to have that.
That's solid. We don't get that around these parts. Hot dogs, cheap burgers.
So you were talking meats, and I decided to take a plunge recently. And I know you guys probably take part in content creator like stuff that they have more than I do. But there's this hot sauce guy that's been around for a long time. I know you guys have heard of him. And I bought a bunch of his hot sauces, and I also bought some syrups from him. And I have been blown away by this dude. You guys know who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen his videos, but I don't follow him often. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What is the name of it?
Him? Pepper Belly Pete.
Pepper Belly Pete. Never heard of him.
He has the spices on a belt. You would see him wears overalls. I swear you've probably come across one of his videos.
He's got wristbands with hot sauce holder, a wristband holder for hot sauces and stuff.
The dude is locked and loaded
He
at
is.
all time. Like he
Good
is
dude too. Good dude.
Yes, and he has a good beard as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
he would definitely will be on your feed as well.
But one of the things I bought was, and he didn't. This is completely I paid out of pocket for the record, but was pecan syrup. Which if you're not a fan of pecans, you ain't gonna like it. But it came with pecans in there, so like it was so buttery and so good. And then there was this apple pie syrup, which I've yet to try, but I'm really excited for it. But
I had no idea that he made syrups.
Dude.
And I can't remember if it was on this podcast or if it was on Body Wrong, but I mentioned butter pecan syrup as being the staple syrup. Like I will be upset if I'm making pancakes or waffles at my house and I'm like, yes, everything's done. All right, let me grab the butter out. Let me grab everything else. And then I grab syrup and I'm like, there's no butter pecan. There's only regular maple or whatever.
These
Again,
peasants.
This is ridiculous. I've had a lot of third world problems here that I'm mentioning today, but that is definitely one of them. If I'm having maple syrup, my day's ruined. Absolutely ruined. Give me that butter pecan.
Man, I'm a maple syrup fan through and through. Just give me the OG right from the source, because we're in the Maple City, the Maple Trail. You can go tap your own tree, all that good stuff. But actually, we had some older cinnamon rolls. I'm not sure how long I think they've been in the fridge about a week. Figured they were still good. Threw them in the air fryer a little bit, drizzled some plain old maple syrup on top of it. My day wasn't ruined because goddamn, a good homemade, and it was like the wife's grandma made these homemade cinnamon rolls. Oh, goddamn.
Maple syrup is okay, right? And so are hand jobs. But if you get the opportunity to have a blow job, that's what butter pecan syrup is like, Well, I guess I should rephrase that because I'm not going to be unhappy if I have a hand job either. Poor phrasing. But still, yes, go ahead, Brent. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. That was way better than what I was going to say. Matt, though, touched on cinnamon rolls, and I just remembered that I had a good listener of the show won a bunch of these gift cards to a local meat store. And in the meat store, and this is but they sell like specialty items like cinnamon rolls in their freeze frozen section. And they've got these one cinnamon rolls that you don't even need icing. They're just so damn good. Well, he goes out and he buys like 8 or 10 of these things and brings them to my house because he's just a good guy. And I'm like, dude, like those gift cards are for you, man. You didn't have to. He's like, no, man, don't worry about it. I've got like 8 packs of cinnamon rolls in my freezer right now. And I've got that apple pie. Oh, that butter pecan. I think I might waffle some of these too.
Have you seen like the loaded waffles where people are putting like bacon and hash browns and stuff like that in there and smashing everything together? Oh, my Lanta.
That's what you need to do at the concession stand. You need to just waffle some. Just take the pulled pork nachos and put them in waffle form.
Oh, now that's money.
I think everything's better.
Good.
Isn't there people that is their whole content is they just take normal meals and put them into waffle form? I saw something the other day and it made perfect sense. Can't remember what it was, but if you needed to add like say ketchup or a hot sauce or something, it just made so much more sense to be in waffle form. So you had those little pockets where the sauce could be in there, and it was just goddamn.
So I must say, totally had a brain fart there, so I lost it. But it was going to be good, though. It was going to be real good.
Dude, anything can be waffled, and honestly, there you go. That's how I was going to bring it back for you. Go ahead, bring it in, bring it in.
You start that waffle restaurant. I just got the name for you. It's perfect. It's a play on words. It doesn't make sense, but it will. The Awful Waffle.
I think that's actually a place already.
Damn it!
I think I've heard that before. Hold on, was that in a cartoon or something?
Because I always wanted to make the falafel waffle. A falafel out of waffles.
Well, speaking of weird things too, my nephew had a trip to Nebraska. Friday, and he had like a field trip or whatever, and he was texting my son while we were on our trip down to mid Missouri. They're like, hey, we stopped in. He's like, I stopped and ate at this place in Nebraska, and he's like, it was called Runza, and he goes, awful, don't recommend it.
You.
I wanted to call you out and be like, hey, man, everything that you've said about this apparently is a lie, because this 10-year-old that is
Mac and cheese and chicken nuggies. Mommy, I want some ranch out of here.
And I believe he even said overpriced, but he sounds like an old man because I don't think he just realizes just how everything is priced nowadays. But it was funny hearing him just saying disgusting and overpriced.
I would put, seriously, you if you go there, you have to try a runza, any kind, doesn't matter. They've got barbecue ones, they've got a cheeseburger one, they've got a Swiss mushroom one, they've got a regular cheese one, but you have to try one of them. But additionally, their cheeseburgers are pattied fresh daily, never frozen beef. I've seen them do it. It's so good. Their cheeseburgers are so good. I'd put it top 5 fast food burgers I've ever had.
Really?
That's a high praise.
It's a fast food restaurant in Nebraska, and there's some in Iowa. I think maybe one in Missouri, maybe not. I don't know if the closest was Fall City or something like that to you, but.
I want to circle back to the Awful Waffle. I don't know if you found some stuff too, but what came up when you searched? Because I use Google, right, and it came up, and apparently it's telling me that there was a restaurant located where I live that was named this that is now permanently closed, and I can tell you that I have never heard of this. So I'm curious what your Google brought up, because it told me that the Awful Waffle is a treble booster pedal from Keeley Electronics, known for its unique creamy distortion. There was an extra T I missed. Distortion.
I don't know if you guys want to see the one like when I got on Google because
oh my god, dude!
I'm getting Urban Dictionary finds, and it's talking about like tennis rackets and stuff. It says first you must find syrup. Second, you must find an unwilling participant. Remove the shirt of the individual you found, then place a tennis racket across the belly. Take syrup and pour it on the racket while pressing the racket hand against the belly. Do not forge to chant Awful Waffle. It's humiliating and brings hours of entertainment to your camp experience. This is mentioned several times that it's at camp. I never went to camp.
I'm never sending a kid to camp now.
So I sent you an article. I didn't realize this. Maybe that this is like an unlocked nostalgic thing for me. Do you guys remember the TV show Salute Your Shorts from Nickelodeon?
That's the other thing I found.
There was the Awful Waffle comes from there. I didn't realize. Maybe it's a core memory. I used to love the show, but core memory I must not have like thought of because now I have. But
there
anyway.
It is. It was in your brain.
Awful Waffle.
There's also the Awful Waffle in Provo, Utah.
I'm also seeing that it's a residential building at 432 Park Avenue in Manhattan, New York. Named for its ugly architecture and overwhelming height.
Yeah, it said that there was a restaurant that was in this area. That's really weird. I'm not buying it. Oh, the Awful Waffles US on Instagram has some pretty good stuff. Interesting.
Mine's going to be the Awful Blue Waffle, and I don't think I would see that at all.
There it is. Yeah, it's all over. There's damn it. Sorry, Brandon. It was a good idea. Somebody just beat us to it. I bet you a waffle place that'd be good. Some good profit margins. It's hard to come up with a restaurant or an idea that nobody else is doing. And usually when things get popular all over the world, then 10 years later somebody brings one to my area and the fad's kind of over. So,
like, how expensive could it be to make some waffles?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? I feel like it could be one of those things where people line up. You have flavors of the month. You have it where certain week is like a special for like a movie. I don't know what, you know what I mean? Like people would line up for something like that. Look what they do with cupcakes and cookies, crumble cookies. Those are terrible, by the way.
Crumble cookies.
They're awful. I honestly feel like we all spend way too much time with our air fryers, and we should spend more time with our waffle makers because, like, she's the side piece that, you know, honestly, I'm the first that I've neglected her, and I think I'm going to pull her out and use her for many things that include eggs and bacon and cheese and cinnamon rolls, and it's going to be a hell of a time, boys.
Ooh, we should challenge ourselves to 7 days, 7 meals, all with a waffle maker. Not making just waffles. Although I could live off waffles and just plain maple syrup pretty much any day.
You know what? We may agree with SpaghettiOs, but we can disagree on syrup. Okay. That's I don't know. Again, I prefer a sloppy beeger. I would rather have the butter pecan.
I've never had it, so I can't not. I'm not saying it's not top tier. It's just never been on my radar.
I will give Matt this, that he is, I mean, he's in the heart of like where it's at. Like we probably haven't even actually ever had real maple syrup before.
That'd be like him critiquing us on barbecue.
Yeah, there's not
You know
much
what I
of
mean?
that. We have a smokehouse.
I wanted to share something else with you boys.
Ooh.
So my
Not
wife and I, we get delivery from Walmart sometimes because we're like lazy and shit. Never do produce because we've gotten so many packs of strawberries with mold on them, like it's not even funny. So never do your own, never do that. Always get your own produce, whatever. But there's a couple things like that. But I'm getting this. You remember the instant pudding, the Jell-O instant pudding mixes? Have you guys seen the ones that have Milky Way, dark chocolate, Dove dark chocolate, and then there was another one, I forgot what it was. It was like not Butterfinger, but something like that. But that was the pudding, but that flavor from Walmart. And I'm getting cheesecake, and I'm getting this pudding. Oh, it's gonna be so good, boys.
It in my mouth. That sounds good.
We had the cheesecake one within the last week. It was just like the normal Jell-O brand or whatever, and it was pretty damn good.
I like some good pudding, and my favorite, banana cream pie.
Hey.
I like them both. My two favorite things.
Yeah, that's I was trying to look up real quick some of the other flavors, but yeah, we've been messing with the old pudding. I mean, it's a cheap meal. I think you can get them for like $1. Ooh, look at that.
That sounds so good. Oh my God, Snickers.
Yeah, bro. There was
I'm trying to lose weight, but that's not going to help that at all. Dude, the Milky Way one, I will with that. Now you said Dove dark chocolate.
Yes.
Get that out of here. That's disgusting. I hate dark chocolate. I had a debate with my coworker about, like the Hershey's miniatures that has the Mr. Good bar, the Hershey's. What is the worst option in that variety bag?
Dark chocolate.
You're not a fan of dark chocolate? I get it. There's only, what's funny is like when you guys get into the like, I like a certain one, like certain people like up to a certain percent of how dark it is. Like some people are like, oh, I like the 92. Get out of here. That shit tastes literally like you're scooping dirt into your mouth. Like it's not good at all. But if you do get some like 60%, something that's on the low end, it's like, all right, I can handle this. But I'm with you on some of that straight up like non-sweet dark chocolate. Get the fuck out of here.
So what's the worst option though out of the Hershey's miniatures for you? Is it the regular Hershey dark, the crackle, whatever the hell it is, Mr. Good bar?
I would just go dark just because I'll eat the other ones first.
Boom. Okay.
I don't prefer dark chocolate. That's what I mean. But I won't turn it down.
It's my least favorite. Mr. Good bar though, top tier candy bar. But for some reason though, if you're at a gas station, you're like, is that a Mr. Good bar? King size? I like the mini ones. Let me get the king size. It's not as good. I'm phlegmy. I don't know what the hell is. But my mouth is watering thinking about a Mr. Good bar, but only the mini ones. The miniatures taste better. Kind of like some people who say the Reese's miniatures taste better. I don't believe it.
I'm not buying that one.
Yeah, but
No.
the Mr. Good bar ones, though, they do. I'm a believer.
Mr. Good bar is a damn good candy bar. We got talking yesterday. There was one of the restaurants, there was a waitress. She's from Toronto, and more or less just bashing some of our food, because in Canada the regulations and stuff are so much better. Like even the ketchup has to be like all organic, no high fructose corn syrup, and a couple other examples. And she was even saying how the Cadbury mini eggs in the States are trash compared to the ones in Canada. And I was like, huh? And then we talked to a couple other people like, oh no, to the point where people were paying like $30 just to get the big bag of the Canadian ones over the ones in the States. I guess they are just that much better. Now I'm like, well, I want to get myself some Canadian Cadbury mini eggs, because those are pretty damn good.
That's wild, because I think the U.S. ones are indeed trash, and I would assume the Canadian ones are as well. Terrible. And that Russell Stovers too. I don't know what is it. Russell Stovers I'm thinking of. Are they the chocolate people?
They do some chocolate, I believe.
I think so. They have their little heart-shaped boxes during Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Ass.
Trash,
Bro,
trash.
Give me that pot of gold. And you might even get anal.
Oh,
I know how many boxes of pot of gold I'm going to be getting this year.
I wanted to show you guys something that I've recently purchased, and it looks like the price has gone up. I think maybe because of, I don't know, just the cost of stuff. It was only $31 when I got it, but it was totally worth it. It's a huge box. I mean, you've seen like people get subscriptions to these things, but I just off the whim bought one of these. It was $31 when I did it, so it's gone up a little bit. But you get like a shit ton of different chocolates from Turkey, and like, dude, they're like they use a lot of like you see this like this green shit.
Whoa. Go back to the cone. Go
yeah,
back
go back
to
to
the
those
cone.
cones.
I think the very bottom one. Yes. Yeah. That's honestly whatever you said beforehand. I was kind of on the fence. You got to these cones, and I'm highly invested in what these things are.
Dude, these you've had these kinds of things. These are great. You've got like a pie,
Yeah.
but like their chocolate is so much. So to your point of why American chocolate's not as great is there's just so much sugar in it. And so like, but what the Turks use a lot of is a lot of pistachio. So you see a lot of the green stuff and a lot of hazelnut. So like their chocolate's very hazelnut heavy and pistachio heavy.
I can do without that.
So good. If you don't like hazelnut or pistachio, you're not gonna like it. But we got it just as like a novelty for the family, and like each night we would each get a candy bar kind of a thing. It was kind of fun, you know. And for $30, I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to spend $30 in candy at Walgreens anyway if I wanted to pay for enough for this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you brought up the candy and it made me think of that.
No, absolutely. And I like those boxes of the variety from different countries and stuff. We used to have a subscription box like that too, and that's always fun. Same thing. Get the kids involved. You get to try different ones, and it's funny seeing them rank different, like in their palates. They're like, "Oh, this is awful." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I agree. Let me have them. I'll take those. These are delicious." That Dubai chocolate, though, not gonna lie, looks like shit. Every time I see one of those videos of somebody making Dubai chocolate, they're like, come make Dubai chocolate with me. I was like, are you going to shit in an ice cube tray? Because that's what it looks like you're doing, and just stuffing grass in there. I know it's pistachios. I fuck with pistachios. When they break that shit apart, it triggers me to want to vomit immediately. I don't know what it is. Every time I see it, disgusting.
Yeah, it looks like Amish horse shit. Then they just put some chocolate around it. And
Yeah, it looks like if you would break up the Hulk's turds. Like, I don't know. Like, it looks disgusting.
not messing with that. Speaking of Amish horse shit, one time when we were in high school, we had this student teacher. I can't remember if it was a student teacher or an actual teacher, but it was like this teacher who was a little bit younger, thought he was like super cool. You know all those teachers. I almost think he was a music teacher. I don't remember, but like just thought he was real cool and like smooth, and was like trying to be cool with the girls and stuff, which is even more weird when you're a teacher. And we decided one day that we were going to take some Amish horse shit and wedge it in all of his door handles. And then he saw it when he went to get in there. He's like, you're not going to get. But apparently his fiance or girlfriend at the time wasn't paying attention, went right in there and was pissed. A little bit of some horse shit right under the fingernails for a while. Oh, man. Yeah, they're pretty pissed. Couldn't prove it was us, though. It was before all these cameras were taking over the world.
Yeah, you can't get away with stuff like that anymore. We've talked about that. You leave your house, you are on camera somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everywhere. Like, it's just ring cameras are everywhere. Like, so you can't get away with the crime because everyone's like, oh, hey, there was no surveillance footage at this residence, but thank God there was the surveillance from Domino's and the 13 ring cameras around the building. So it's wild. But Brandon, I was seeing too that your hat, that the vintage Denver Broncos hat there. What'd you think of the draft?
I honestly didn't pay much attention to the draft of what they did, other than the first two picks. I don't know much. I used to know so much more about college players, but was more paying attention to where Nebraska guys went, and then following the Shadur Sanders thing.
Yeah.
But what did you think? What were the overall thoughts there?
So I mainly watched it just to see Shadur, see where they go, and I watched the Cowboys a little bit, but once they start picking their same picks over and over again and disappointing me typically year in and year out, it makes you realize that Jerry Jones, I don't think, has ever watched his team play a single game of football. But I really wanted a running back, that Cam Scatabo, whatever.
That's who I wanted, dude. That's the one guy I wanted for Denver too. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and I like the way he plays and just the intensity. And I was like, you know what? Dallas literally has no running backs. Gamble on him. You know what I mean? And of course, he went to the Giants, so I can't wait to not only play him and Saquon twice a year. Just aggravating. But no, to see Sanders drop to was it seventh? Not seventh round. Was it seventh round? I think it was. To Cleveland?
Sixth, I believe.
Yeah, 5th or 6th, yeah.
Was it his brother? Or his brother was undrafted too, but I think he got picked up by the Bucks.
Interesting. See,
Shiloh,
it's
I
funny
think, is
because
his
they
name.
gave your Cowboys an A+ on the draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did what?
Broncos
I know
got
they
a
got.
B.
It's because they got 3 defensive ends, I think, back to back to back, didn't they? It was, and then I know they replaced offensive line. It was all.
Yeah, your
Zach
first pick
Martin's
was
leaving.
a guard because Zach Martin retired, so they wanted to go in and get that first, they said, so they took one with the 12th pick. Then you got an edge rusher, cornerback, running back, linebacker, tackle, defensive line, running back again.
Oh shit! Never
Yeah,
mind
the
that. I didn't pay
defensive
attention to it at all. Apparently, whenever I looked at it, it said DE or it said the edge rusher or whatever, and then I saw that we were getting defense, but it
Yeah, you
looked
got
like we
the
were
running
each on a
back from
couple.
Clemson and the running
I'd
back
still
from
rather
Texas.
have. I wanted Scatabo, whatever his name was. I wanted him. You know, I was really hoping Genty would fall to the first pick because they had that in some drafts, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, that would be nice. And then of course the Raiders got him, but then I hope he shits all over KC. So I'm like, you know what? Slight win in my book.
I like how bad Cleveland got ranked and how much they were getting shit on for taking that one quarterback in the 3rd round from Oregon.
Why do they have so many quarterbacks now? Like it's insane. So they have Watson, Flacco, that Dillon guy that they just drafted. God, I thought there was somebody else too. So they got
Sanders.
Shiloh and then
They
right. I
drafted
thought there was
him.
a 5th one though. Who's the 5th? I can't remember.
And it's what I was talking with Tony as soon as they got Sanders, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "I'm honestly thinking we just took Sanders so the Steelers couldn't." I was like, "All right." I was like, "I'd rather have the Steelers get the dude from Ohio State, Will Howard." Said he had a hell of a year. He's doing some NFL like throws and this and that, and then the Steelers went out and got him, and I'm like, I can't hate that.
Kenny Pickett
Ugh.
is the other one I was thinking of. I forgot he went to the Browns as well.
Pickett did?
But yep,
No shit.
right after the Super Bowl, he went to the Browns.
Good for him.
So the Cleveland Browns quarterback room consists of Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and whoever the other guy was that they just drafted.
Yeah.
Dillon,
Steelers
whatever
ended
his
up
name is.
getting Robinson, I believe, from Nebraska.
Yeah, the Eagles did.
No, Pittsburgh did.
Did they?
Ty Robinson. Yep.
Are you sure? Because were you
Yeah.
looking at PFF?
I'm looking at
Because
PFF.
that's that but if you read into that article, it says that he was drafted by the Eagles. Because I looked it up and I thought he went to the Steelers too, but he actually went to the Eagles.
Well, that's confusing.
That's
Come on,
it's PFF's fault. I just saw that.
Well, son of a gun. There goes that.
Yeah, he
That's
was
the
a
only
good
one
pickup
they-
though.
Yeah, that's the only one they had wrong on there.
Yeah, the other ones are right.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, you get a little excited for the draft, usually when your team's not doing as great, and then you have all this hope like, oh, this is the answer, and then you realize, oh, this guy's not going to be good probably ever for a little bit, and then it's like, oh, they're going to be a different team in 2 or 3 years, and it's like, football's still a ways away.
Yep, you ain't lying.
Well, and while the draft was going on, we were traveling to Mizzou for a school event for my daughter, and they have like these bulletin boards of people just requesting help or just events that are going on, and one just caught my eye. Normally, I don't even stop and read those things, but had a drawing of a guy on there, and I was like, "What is this?" And it mentioned saving Hacky Sack Man, and I was like, I'm invested. What the hell is this? So I'm looking, and apparently this guy usually hangs around the student center or whatever that's over there, and where they get their food and do all their studying and everything. But he hangs out over there, listens to music, and just talks with the people and just kicks a hacky sack around. And people like to hang around and watch him do it. Apparently he's pretty good at it, and he's been doing it for quite some time. But the school told him that he can no longer play music. That is a sound violation, or there's a sound ordinance or whatever. and he's applied for permits to be able to play music, and he doesn't. But I forgot there was like a petition on this thing, and we ended up signing it. And it was like 1,200 signatures long or deep on this thing. And I was like, dude, revolution with Hacky Sack. Man, I've never met this guy a day in my life, but he sounds awesome.
Yeah, change.org. You guys can look it up. 1,206 signatures. The issue, we all know Hacky Sack, man, the legend who brings energy, rhythm, and joy to Mizzou's campus with every kick and speaker circle. But now the music that makes the magic happen has been silenced. Mizzou has told him he can no longer play his music and denying his request for a noise permit.
Oh, I do see that this was not mentioned, but apparently he was featured on Vice. And it says Missouri's half-naked hacky sack champion.
Which part you think's naked?
That's what I'm trying to wonder. So I'm guessing he's just a shirtless dude who just enjoys playing hacky sack.
Interesting. He is, and for anybody looking, I'm just looking at the picture. It's on change.org. He looks like one of your creepy uncles. You know what I mean? Like he just looks like a guy that...
We're not helping his case at all. Like
No.
we're like, hey, go to this change.org, but also he might touch you. I don't know.
I don't know, if you look in the background, though, there's a bunch of people watching him do this, and they all got a smile on their face. So, I mean, he's clearly doing something right. I'm going to sign it.
There we go. Just revolution. I'm going to check. We're going to update this next week, and we're going to be like, man, we've got to be up to like 25,000 now. We're like, 1210, baby.
Save the hacky sack, man. What a dying art that was, man. Hacky sack was fun. We used to play in between classes before the bell rang, get a little couple kicks in, just a...
It was just wild being on campus, and I went to go take my toddler to the bathroom, and as we're washing our hands, everything, these kids come in, and I say kids, and they're probably early 20s, but they walk in and they're like, hey, how'd you earn your first $1 billion, sir? And I was like, did you say billion with a B? And I was like, scratch that. It doesn't matter because I couldn't even tell you the M. You know, I was like, what are you talking about? And he starts laughing. I was like, shit. I was like, I think I owe $1 billion probably at this point. And I was like, I am worth absolute dog shit. And they're like, damn. They're like, you carry yourself like a billionaire. I was like, I was washing my hands in the bathroom. What the hell is going on here? And I was like, am I being punked? Still one of the most weird interactions I've had. Probably this week.
Were they filming it? Or were they just...
No. Just walked right in. Yeah, it was just weird. And that's why I was like, is this some kind of weird trend? And I was like, am I not hip to what is being asked of me right now? Was I supposed to respond back with, are these lyrics to a song? I don't know. But yeah. But I mean, they left. Whenever I was walking out, they were laughing to my response. So I was like, did I win? What do I win?
Huh. I just Googled real quick to see if it was a weird trend or something. Nothing really comes up.
Threw me off. And just I'm in the restroom of all places. And I was like, okay. I mean, do I feel like $1 billion after dropping a load? Yeah. Did I there? No. Just a piss.
Did you drop a load?
No.
That's a weird question, especially you got the kid there. How'd you make your first $1 billion, sir? Huh.
Wild. Yeah.
I was really thinking that you had something smart ass and something funny to come back with that, but you're probably thrown very, very off. Like I could just see you being like, well, it was the porn industry, really.
Well, and the fact that it was just a crowded restroom, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, again, with a 5-year-old just going, huh? And I was like, what? I just couldn't think of anything. I was just like, okay. I was like, shit. I was like, I owe everybody money. And then I got to thinking as I'm like walking back to where the family's at, I was like, I do owe a lot of money to everything. I was like, this sucks. I was like, I went in there feeling good about taking a piss. And I was like, now I'm just like upset and depressed that I'm financially irresponsible. I hate it.
$1 billion.
This rooster's about to get killed. I don't know if you guys can hear it though, but it's deafening towards me.
How does Yardbird taste, by the way? Yep.
You know what? I couldn't tell you just because we got these with the intentions of eating the chickens, and I married someone who's too much of a pussy to kill them. So, and then I've almost died twice from their feces. So I'm splendid to have these motherfuckers just roaming around my yard, shitting everywhere. And they predominantly do it on the concrete next to where we walk. So if there's any Amazon deliveries or any kind of packages being delivered, it's just resting in and around chicken shit. So it's very pleasant, let me tell you.
I accidentally was telling the person that we buy our eggs off about how you almost died a couple of times from chicken shit, and they had no idea that that was a thing. And I was like, oh shit, did I just ruin my egg connection? God
It's
damn.
rare, like Mr. Clean with hair. You know what I mean? And
That's
I'm
what I
just
told her too, without the Mr. Clean thing.
so I added the Mr. Clean. We have somebody here that doesn't have hair, and that's what we always tell them. We're like, it's rare, like Andy, his name with hair, and he's always like, off, guys, because he hasn't hair. I mean, I think he went bald. Shit, Andy lost his hair like 21. So I mean, dude's always not had hair. So it's
Dude,
rare.
having a friend like that, my cousin, same way, was like 19, 20. And I'm like, bro, life throws you a curveball like losing your hair at 20. Oh, you have got a tough life ahead of you, brother. That's rough.
What do you think's worse, going bald at 20 or going gray or like white hair at 20? Because I know some people that went gray early too.
I think having a full head of hair is I don't know, there's something. It's like, would you rather have a tooth missing or an eyebrow missing, right?
See, I mean,
Mm.
I've seen some people too that they just pull off the bald look better than whenever they did have hair. And so there was one guy on TikTok too he was showing his wife shaving his head and everything. He's just like, oh man, it was time, and he had thinning hair, and then like whenever he got done, everyone's like, damn dude, like you look a lot better. And then people were commenting on there like, I wish I looked this tough bald. And you can see this guy was like commenting back with comments. He's like, holy shit, you think I look tough? I can't wait to send this to the boys, because he's just getting razzed by his friend group, and he goes, hey, these people on TikTok think I look like Jason Statham. Like, you. Yes. But speaking of friend groups, I mentioned it before, but it's just crazy now. It has reached 2 years that this has now been a thing. My friends and that damn golf bag that sits in front of a TV. Did I ever tell you guys about that?
It doesn't ring a bell.
So 2 years ago, we went golfing on 420,
Mhm.
and we invited these two gentlemen that live together, and one guy is incredibly lazy. Like, he just refuses to do anything. These people had one working outlet in their entire house at one point in
What?
time, just because they are comfortable living like bachelors, and they're each almost 40, if that tells you anything.
Yikes.
Absolutely. They didn't even have a spoon to stir, like, because they don't cook. They just eat out every single day. So just paint me the picture of this, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
the one individual we go golfing, he sits his golf bag, whenever he gets done, right in front. Like, pretty much you walk into the door, the TV is right there against the wall. He set it up just right, almost where you barely can get to the door, but not enough to cover any of the TV. But it's sat there now for 2 years. It has not moved from that spot, and it's a running joke. They go there to watch the Chiefs games or any kind of sporting events and everything. That's the house that they go to, and nobody says a word because it's an inside joke between the friends. We're like, well, let's see how long it'll go before that one individual picks up his shit. So we've even invited him golfing. He's like, nah, I don't really feel like it. He's like, I don't want to get my stuff out. And we're like, what? Absolutely. I get pictures and updates of this damn golf bag all the time because I never go over there, because I was like, one, I never have time. But two, I was like, you have one outlet and no utensils, and what the golf bag is sat there, and it's just crazy. Like, I was like, how are you almost 40 and still living like this? But yeah, so they celebrated the 2-year anniversary. I got a text update that the bag is indeed still there.
2
Wild.
years.
Wow.
So now I'm gonna desperately dig while you guys talk, but I'm going through to see, because I used to get just picture updates, and I think it was the AFC Championship game. And he goes, bro, he's like, because the game was he was like pretty neck and neck. He's like, I'm not having a good time with this shit, but he's like, look what's still here, that fucking golf bag, and now I can't find it.
That is wild. I've been
That's wild.
wanting. I keep telling myself that this is the year that I get back into golf. But the problem is, if I start to get back into golf, I realize that my clubs are pretty old. And then I'm like, do I really want to invest in some new clubs? Golf's gotten expensive too, but you know what I mean? So by the time you get out there and you drop the money, and it's like, do I want to get back into it? Kind of. Do I have time to get back into it? No. No, I don't.
Found it.
Whoa.
And golf is expensive. And then like even shop for anything though. Like my daughter needed a new bat for softball, and so we're looking for these bats, and she's like, "Hey, Dad, these ghost bats are sick." And I was like, I look at the price of them. I was like, "Yeah, they appear to be $500 for a bat. You are out of your damn mind." I was like,
Yeah.
"No way." I was like, "Go use a stick." That's what they used back in the days. They used to have bottle caps.
Yeah.
Go have fun with that. Like I'm not $500 for a bat, and then I'm reminded too that golf clubs are super expensive, and that I enjoy doing that. Right, and I was like, mine were stolen, and my buddy hooked me up. Like he stole them. They were brand new. I bought them for $100. Are they worth a lot more? Yeah. Did I spend that? No. Do I have a driver that's almost $200? Yes. So they make points every once in a while, but I'm like, damn. And then it was also mentioned that I golf maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and I was like, this is also a good point. It's also a good point. But so the golf bag sits again right by the doorway where it's you can almost barely open the
Jesus.
door the entire way, but just enough to where if you sit on the floor, you can't, like the bag almost covers the TV if you're sitting at a ground level, right? So, but yeah,
Has anybody ever said, "Hey, can we move this?"
No, that's the thing is, so it is, even if somebody else is invited to the house, which is rare, that is not a part of the friend group, it is told to them, they're like, hey, you're going to see this golf bag. Don't mention golf. Don't say anything about it. Do not act like that bag is there. You got it? And so there was one time where one guy got heated and was drunk, and he's like, you lazy f-. And he started pointing at the bag, and they all literally tackled him and told him, like, you shut your mouth. Do not ruin this. And the goal the entire time was to get to a year. That's when they were like, he won't move it for a year. There was bets on it and everything else. We've now made it 2 years, which I'm like, the other person that lives there, I'm like, how does he feel about this? Like, this is crazy. Like, that would drive me nuts. After one day of that being there, I would physically move it myself. I'm like, no, I can't do this. I don't live like, I don't know. So he refuses to, like, he's just like, just part of the house now. It's just kind of like just a Christmas tree that's up year round. He goes, I don't give a who cares? So I'm just like, okay, man, like that's on you. The whole outlet situation though, I asked him, I was like, how are you running all of your stuff? And they're like, just extension cord after extension cord. They're like, we got a 20-footer that goes to our bedroom. And I was sitting there going, I was like, dude, I know you and your wife split up. And I was like, one of them has the guy who doesn't own the golf bag. I was like, your kid comes and stays here, right? He's like, yeah. And I was like, you know, this is like a fire hazard. And I was like, outlets are one of the easiest things. Like myself, I don't know anything. Let me change your outlets for you. I was like, I'm begging you, I will buy the box of outlets. And I was like, you probably don't need them. I was like, it's probably just loose wires and shit, dude. I was like, let me just look. And he's like, nah. Hired an electrician finally, right? And he's like, oh, it's going to be $1,100. And he's like, oh, I can't do that. And I go, he knows you're stupid. And I was like, dude, stop it. And I was like, please, let me just come over there. But he doesn't want to accept help from anybody. And I'm like, let your house burn down, dude. At this point, I don't give a shit. The golf clubs would still be the only thing there if that place burned down. They would go through the ashes, and the golf bag would still be sitting in that exact same spot.
I was expecting the picture to be a much not nice house. I was picturing like dirty carpets and, you know what I mean, stuff there. That looked like a pretty nice place with a nice golf bag decor. Looks like a nice golf bag too.
It just sitting there. So this picture, I've now received 4 pictures in a year span, but yeah, just crazy. And then when I was swiping through the pictures, I'm getting the stupid pictures that he sends. And one of them was a guest who was a disabled veteran. So all respect to him, but he was pissing in water bottles and just leaving them everywhere. So there was just water bottles of piss literally all throughout this desk in his hotel room. And so you can imagine the smell of said room. And pretty incontinent to where if he shit, he would just roll out of the chair he was sitting in. So
God damn.
I got to stumble upon that picture again. So really worth it to show the golf bag.
Yep. You brought in some memories. Wow, those are some interesting people. Bet you that'd be a lot of fun golfing with, though.
It was. If I can remember 2 years ago, I think it was a pretty good time. But just wild. The commitment level of those guys is unmatched.
Yeah, and they're in their... Wow, okay. That reminds me of some college type stuff. Some similar things. But hey, Just like us, we were told to never grow up. We were just going to be Toys R Us kids.
Toys R Us are back in Macy's. But I
What?
think Macy's are probably getting ready to close. So
Probably. But all right, I know you got a hard stop here in a couple minutes, and we all got a lot of things to do, and I got to go find my waffle maker. So I figure we'll call this one a wrap. Brandon, you've been appreciate you guys, and remember, go sign that petition. We got to save the hacky sack man, and we want to get it to at least 1,300 signatures so he can keep being a Mizzou legend.
That's right.
When you're on campus, I want you to take a selfie with him.
Yeah, and if you're listening to the show, send us a picture of your waffle, and if you mean breakfast or the other, we'll accept both.
You've been at you'beenwhackingoff.com. Check it out. While you're there, buy yourself a blue waffle candle.
There you go.
All right, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
No,
right.
I think I'm gonna go golfing.
I'm gonna go shovel. And hope that spring comes back. And then I'm going to have to listen to all those people that just came back from spring break and probably went to Myrtle Beach or some place like that and be like, oh, it's so cold up here. Come on, you've lived here your whole goddamn life. Grow up. You went away for 7 days. Figure it out.
Yeah, and also stay out of my fridge.
Stay out of my fridge. And I hope yours is empty when you come back from spring break. And mine's just full of stuff that needs to probably be thrown away. But either way, we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Knock, who's there? It's the podcast you adore. Stay out of my fridge. We're back, ready to explore. Gotta tell a tale, gonna make you laugh, gonna make you smile. So buckle up tight, it's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets hide.